All right, so thank you for being there today with me. Um, some of you already saw some webinars that I've did in the past. So I wanted to do this one on the Moulders because that's deepest range we've got in Meran. So some of you guys already know some Moulders of Meran, but probably none of you know the whole range. So it's good for me to get the time to explain you. Um, so for those who don't know me, I'm Mark. So I'm sales manager in Meran. It's been 7 years now, so a bit of time. Um, so the purpose of this webinar is for you to get more details and to be to have more knowledge on the molders. You probably already sold once or several ones, or maybe you're using one in your bakery if you're a baker. But it's always good to know what's existing on the market, uh, what an expert of the molding can offer as a solution. I can see some names that I will see at IBA in Munich at the trade show. So we will talk about this webinar if you want to during the show. Uh, we've got a Q&A part, question and reply. So if you have anything, just put it in this part, okay? And I'll try to reply during the webinar, but probably more at the end of the webinar. I'll check all these and reply directly, okay? It will be easier. All right, so let's start. Let's start. Up already. Okay, so I'll just show you a brief presentation of Meran because you probably don't know us, all of you. So Meran is a family business founded nearly 70 years ago. Gonna have a birthday next year, so it's gonna be a big party, I hope. We've been bought out by a group 1 year ago, French group, because all the CEO is now retired. So we got a new director. We are specialists in dough mechanization, so dividing, molding, resting, and rounding. Um, so we don't have we have a narrow range, but deep one. I mean, we don't do a lot of machines. We don't do oven, proofers, or such kind of things. But we have many molders, many different dividers, and same for the others. We've got a production plant in your heart of Brittany in France. You can see some photos of the production here on the top, and on the below you can see our baking lab. So we got a full baking lab to host our customers. So from France, but from also all over the world. We got people coming with the flour to test their dough on our machines to check if everything is okay, and when it's okay, they can move forward with their project. Mera, just to give you an idea, is more or less 30 employees, and we've got a 5% R&D department, which is quite a good thing because we then can launch new machines, innovations, patented system. We're quite proud of having such a big R&D department. And Mera is well known overseas. I'm doing this webinar in English, and we got two slots today because we sell both in America and also in Australia, Japan. So it's with the time lapse, it's better to have two. We do more of 60% of our sales turnover abroad. So yeah, international is important to us, and IBA will show it the trade show because we will have a big booth over there to show our presence. Um, So we just did a brief introduction of Meron, and then we're gonna check out briefly why is Meron so much specialized in Moulders, our core values, and then we go deeper into the machines. So Meron has a deep history with molding. So the first one we did was in 1954, the Sprint molder, which you can see in the center here. We still have it in our baking lab actually. It's not working anymore, but our technicians wanted to have it work again. So it's just to show you the durability of the machine. So that was the first machines we made in 54. It was the very beginning of the mechanical molding, not only at Meran, but also in the bakery industry in general. I mean, in France. I'm not sure about export, but I guess it's more or less the same. The idea in the 50s was to convince the bakers to buy a machine and to convince them that the machine will not will do the same job as they're doing by hand. So that's why we chose at that time horizontal molding, which is the closest thing to manual molding. But then in the 70s, there were more and more machines in the bakery. So there were more ovens, more proofing chambers, more machines. So people had to find more space and have smaller machines and also cheaper machines because they were investing more and more on machines. So that's why vertical molders have appeared. We did the Traeger in 76, our first one, which you can see here, the Traeger 1. And so yeah, this was the reason why we designed this new machine with a vertical molding. We'll see more. We get more into details on the difference between vertical and horizontal molding after. And I would say, yeah, the 2010, more or less, there's more and more a return to tradition molding and to tradition breads. That's why more and more we're selling horizontal molding. Our bestseller is still the Traeger, the vertical one, because it's cheaper and you can save space, floor space. But horizontal molding definitely very trendy now. And tomorrow, well, let's see. You're on the field as well, so you talk to bakers and you have a good idea. My view, my personal view is that we will still keep going more and more with the horizontal one um, because in France there's less and less bakeries in a very town center. We got more bakeries on the surroundings, and they got more space, bigger production, so bit more of money as well. So yeah, my idea is that more and more horizontal in the future, but still a lot of Traeger. Wait and see. Um, our three keys values when we design a machine and especially a molder are those three things. The first one is a respect for dough. As said, a return to tradition now, so more and more fermented bread, sourdough bread, such kind of things. So if you have a 24, 48 hours fermented bread and that molder is not adapted for that, you will crush the work you've done before. So for instance, our option, which you can see here, the laminating roll is Alveol Plus, which has been designed to avoid disgassing the dough. So the purpose is to imitate hand lamination. The second one is versatility. So the purpose of that is that a machine can do different type of bread, so that you don't have to change the whole machine if you want to do another bread or to buy another machine. With some accessories, You can diversify your production. Here you can see a point of option, so to make breads with pointy ends. So yeah, that's important to us. And the last one is evolutivity of the machine. Um, the machine has to adapt to your development, the bakery development. So, for example, here I put a photo of our armor molder. Um, if you don't have the space at the moment to get evacuation belt, reception belt like this one, you can still buy the molder and support carriage, and in the future adapt without changing the whole thing, adapt a reception belt. That's some things that are possible, but they just need to be foreseen in advance by the R&D department to have that possible. So here are the key values of Maron. Well, let's get more into details into Moulders. So I can see lots of names that already know a lot. The Trigger, because you bought a lot of them. It's molding reference. I mean, in the world, we are well known for this machine, and it gives great productivity to artisan bakers. So weight range 50 grams to 1,450 grams, an output of 1,800 pieces per hour. So even if you're not going up to this output, it still shows the solidness. I mean the robustness of the machine. It can be very durable in time, and the parts are made to accept such a production volume. The cleaning is also an important part because many breakdowns are caused by lack of cleaning. So the idea is really to help the bakers so that at the end of the day it's not a problem for him to clean the machine. Um, I won't say he will be happy to do it, but hopefully he can do it in a minimum amount of time. So, for example, the scrapers of the molder, which will scrap the water, laminating water, to make sure there's no dough staying on that, they can be very easily removed. The maintenance is also a point. When the machine has a breakdown or needs, for example, to change the belts, it's important that the technicians don't spend 4 hours on the work, because technicians have other job to do, and it's more expensive for customer because he pays an hour. So on the Traeger, we had usher came at the factory to testify that the belt could be changed in less than 30 minutes. So we did it. We did it with our technician. So everything was ready, of course, and it was a very high qualified technician and everything. But still, even if you don't take 30 minutes, but 45 minutes, that's still a very good thing. And so it shows how far we've been to design this. The Traeger has 3 rollers, so 2 laminating ones and 1 fixed. You can see a cut here to show how it works. So the molding is 2 belts that goes on opposite side. So the issue of that is that it's like when you're doing that, it's hitting my hands. It's the same for the dough. It's hitting the dough a little bit. So that's why some prefers horizontal one. So you can see here the 3 laminating rollers. Then we go onto a net through unrolling, and then the belts. And in the option, we got the PPR system. So PPR is French, which would mean adjustable progressive prelamination. This is important. The prelamination roll is fixed in a standard, which means if you do some small pieces, you will reduce the space between the rollers to have a lamination, but the pre-laminating roll won't move, which means you probably won't have any pre-lamination. It won't be progressive. The dough ball will go directly into the true rollers. And with the PPRS system, when you adjust, if you, for example, you want to do big pieces, 1 kilo, you increase the height between the two rollers, and the PPR roll will automatically adjust to increase the gap between the two rollers as well, so that it's really progressive, and you also have a pre-lamination on big pieces and on smaller pieces. And there's an option as well, Alveo Plus. So you saw it before in photo, but this pre-lamination roll can have little holes. It's you can see here in a photo. So it's to, as said, to imitate the hand lamination to prevent degassing the dough, especially fermented dough with hydration or such kind of thing. So when do we advise the trigger? So the trigger is better when you have short loaves to make, because the dough is getting down into the walls by gravity, uh, which means if you open at the maximum the belts, you will elongate at the minimum a bread. So that's something possible. With the horizontal system is different. You still have to mold a little if you want the bread to move on. On the vertical molding on our trigger, you can adjust the enrolling system. You can see on the photo here it says weighted bars, so it's metal bar, and you can quit some of them if you want to have more aerated structure, more hair structure. If you want a tight one with, for example, thin bread, you can keep them, but you have the possibility to adjust that point. So I said the trigger is also more economical and take less space in a bakery. We have made some videos on the machine to help the baker to clean the machine, and to help the technicians to do intervention on the machine. So, for example, you can see a belt to change the belts, to remove the scraper, changing the direction of motor rotation. So those are available on YouTube. They're not in free access because we don't want competition to take all that. But if you're a customer, of course, we'll send you the link, and you'll be able to see all that. We did in English, in French as well. So just let us know, all right? And we could send you that. And the other artisan machine that we have in our range is the Armor molder, so which also some of you know well. I put trying is adopting. Yeah, that's kind of true because yeah, I got many customers that already worked on the Armor molder and doesn't want to work on another molder anymore. It really gives excellent results on the breads. You can see the weight range is a bit bigger. You can have bigger pieces over 1,400 grams, so up to 2 kilos. And so the principle, you can see the drawing on the below is so you can see two rolls, two laminating rolls, but actually the lamination is between one roll and the roll of the belt, which you don't see here, but I could have added it. So it's like if there were three rolls. It's kind of the same as a vertical one. Then we got a rolling net, and after you got two phases of molding. So here it's a upper one, so it's a fixed plate. So it's exactly like a baker would do on a table. So very gentle, very sweet. this fixed plate, you can adjust it. We got different settings depending on the weight of the product, on the type of dough. So you can play on this to get the better results that you want. And the second lengthening is also on a fixed table. And you can adjust the lamination and also the length of the final products with a needle selector with 36 holes. So it's very easy to put and yeah, it doesn't move. I mean, it's not like something you have to screw. It's very easy to do and quick and don't move. So when do we advise the armor? When customer wants to make some to produce some fragile dough, so it can be tradition baguettes, sourdough breads, fermented ones, such kind of thing. It doesn't want to heat the dough and want perfect results. The armor would be better for that. Also, the armor will have um, a longer molding length. So if you want to do longer baguettes, such kind of thing, and don't want your operators to finish hand molding, the armor will be better for that as well. On this machine, you can do flatbreads. We got a video on YouTube, so you can see it. It's in free access. To make flatbreads, you just put the dough. It will go into the rollers to make a galette, a flatbread, and you just quit the rolling net and the first fixed plate, upper fixed plate, which you can see on the left, and so that the flatbreads will just fall on the back of the machine. So you just grab them back here. So it's not possible with vertical molding. It's too much complicated. And so for larger loaves, if you want to do above 1,400 grams, the armor will be dedicated to that. So it won't be a problem. One advantage also of the armor is that you can work online with it. I mean, the front infit belt, which you can see on the bottom left, the trigger can also have it. So an infit belt will give more regularity on the fitting. If you're fitting, for example, from a proofer, it will be easier with an infit belt. But the back infit belt is very an asset of the armor because you can work in line. We'll see later on such kind of configuration. And also the armor can have the Alvel Plus laminating roll yeah, which you can see in photo. On our Moulders, we got different accessories and options to get more versatility on the machine, as said before. So I already talked about the point-up system to make pointy heads baguette. But we also have the easy turn to mold short pieces with pre-elongated dough pieces. More and more bakers pre-elongate their dough piece before sending into the proofer. That way, the glutinous network is organized to be elongated after, so that you don't have to tear the dough and yeah. So the problem of that with pre-elongated dough pieces is that it's difficult to make short breads, because if 12 centimeters dough piece enter into the molder, it would be difficult to just get 15 centimeters dough piece, you know. So the easy turn will give a turn to the dough piece so that it enters the other way, so that it's more easy to make short loaves. We got a short bread guide as well to make sure the short loaves are really well calibrated to fit the molds, for example. The idea is that operators don't have to touch the product again. If you want to enter a 20 centimeters short bread in a 15 centimeters mold, it will be complicated and it will not give a good result on the product. And also, we'll talk about it later on, but the roll scoop accessory, which can do slicing, baguette slicing, to make quarter of baguettes, half baguettes, such kind of thing. Here are few, a few drawings of possible implementation. So we can have the molder inside the proofer outside with front and back and feed belt. We got many different things. So mainly artisan solution or upper markets solution as well. Then we have the Armor HV. Armor HV is much similar to the Armor, classic Armor ABS, which means all braid shaping. The differences is this machine has reinforced transmissions. HV means is for high volume. So we got stainless steel carters, back and feed belt, and yeah, the machine is really designed to work more hours in a day. Generally, we say Armor and Traeger are designed to work 8 hours in a day. So it doesn't mean that they will stop once they've done their 8 hours. Just mean that the parts will use faster if you go over. Armor HV will be more like 12 hours in a day. That's why we use it on most of our semi-industrial line. Here you can see a rail pan line, and it feeds, so it's a divider, stress-free divider, and it will feed through a conveyor directly the molder, with thanks to the back and feed belt. So you can really work online. Also, this machine has a point-up system to diversify the breads. So here is another one, which is not the most famous, the Allonge Plus. The Allonge Plus, which means elongate molding more, is designed to elongate more the dough pieces. So the first thing is that you got a bigger distance, molding distance, than a classic Armor. And you have the first molding phase, which is a belt and not just a fixed plate. So it will work as a vertical molding, two belts going on opposite ways to have a longer baguette or such kind of products. So you can either run it or stop it if you don't want to have too much longer products. But you can also adjust the height of the belt, of course. You can see on the photo on the right, top right, that we got two selectors, one on the back for the belt and one on the front for the main belt. And when do we advise a solution? Sometimes we have some customers that don't want rest. So the rest is important because it will help the dough to relax, to be elongated after, so that the dough does not get back to its initial position. But sometimes the rest is not possible because maybe it's too hot in the bakery in very hot countries with no air climatization in the bakery, or sometimes it's just a process that wants a very little rest. But thing is, if they want to elongate with no rest, it's a bit more complicated. So that's why we designed this molder. So yeah, it's more dedicated to artisan with high volumes of production or some industrial bakeries. Then we got the Armor I. So I is for industrial. Yeah, so it's a much different size of machine. It's much stronger. It's really made to make volume. We got reinforced structure and parts. How do you say, the side, not side panels, but the real structure of the machine is at 12 millimeters, so that's big, and it can goes up to 2,000 pieces per hour. So that's this machine we use in our FlexiLine 2.0. 2.0 for 2,000 pieces per hour. When I'm talking about pieces, I'm talking about baguette, which is our French reference. And the idea of this machine is to get more regularity. You can see the baker on the top right saying to the baguette, "All right, good for service." So baguette is right size and everything is fine. We got many customers that are that have I mean they produce for hypermarkets, for example, such kind of customers who are really demanding. So they can check some products, and if the one or two products are not the good size or good weight, they will refuse the whole batch of product. So to avoid that, we have such kind of machine. So how do we get regularity? I'll just show you. You can see on the top left, sorry, bottom left, the design of the 5 rollers. So the lamination is more progressive. The idea is that no dough stays stuck in the rollers, waiting for a second dough to come and having a double pieces. And the first of this roll you can see on the second photo is with notched, so it's a notched roller to ensure there's a good dough flow. After the unrolling net, we got a motorized flour duster just before the first elongation. That first elongation is calibrated to get the same length for each product. So you can see on the fourth photo, there are guides and a fixed plate which you can adjust the weight you will put on that. The last photo just show you the difference of size between the Armor HV and the Armor I. It's not really big, so you don't see it, but really it's bigger. It's bigger definitely. So that's not made for artisan. Then we have our 3-form molder. So 3-form is part of our FlexiLine 1.8. 1.8 because it goes to 1,800 pieces per hour, so same as a artisan Traeger. I'll explain you why after. So that's an hybrid molding. Why? Because we got both vertical molding and horizontal molding. The first is vertical, so you can see it will calibrate a dough piece at like 40 centimeters, and then you go into the second and third horizontal molding to get the baguettes more and more long each time. So it cannot really accept more than 1,800 pieces per hour, mainly because of the rolls. We just have 3 rolls on this machine, so same as Traeger. So yeah, as said, the consistency, the regularity is very important. So we calibrate the first molding. Here you can see the photo of the guides we have in the between the two belts, and the idea is to get a little rest between each stage of molding to avoid tearing the dough. Okay. Basically, that's what a molder would do on the table. It would just mold, stop, remold, stop. So the dough has a little few seconds to just get back to its initial position, and it's more smooth, much more gentle, more progressive. And for that, we got adapted settings. You can see on the bottom left. So we got the settings for the flour duster, a settings for the speed of the second and third molding phases, and you can also stop them if you want to. You can raise them if you want to do a short bread. That's also possible. You just have the vertical molding, and that's it. It's well calibrated, and the dough piece goes under the second and third molding. The main advantage of this molder is the regularity, but this regularity will be used to make cuts. So the roll scoop accessory can cut the baguette into 2, 3, 4, or even 5 dough pieces. So this will multiply the productivity of the machine. This you can see some photos that are just screenshot of the video we got on YouTube. So you can check this out on YouTube as well. You can see the baguette we made, so very regular, all the same sizes. So that's the exit of the molder. We just have spreading belts to finish elongating the baguette or to just separate. For example, if you can see the semi baguettes we made here, we just don't want them to touch on the trays, on the wavy trays. So we don't want operators to put them manually. So that's it. To have baguettes here, it's a baguette's cut into 3 parts and then in 4 parts. So if you want to do small rolls for restaurants, such kind of thing, that's much better. So the machine can do 1,800 baguettes per hour, but if you cut into 5 pieces to make small rolls, it will give you 9,000 pieces per hour. So yeah, it will multiply your productivity. This cut is very how do you say, very difficult thing actually. We have 3 goals when we make that. The first goal is to obtain a fairly long dough piece. If the dough is not long enough, just 1 out of 10 is not long enough, you will lose dough that is on the side, which can't be sold to customers because it's not the good size. The second point is to get a regular stick. So if you mainly some of our competitors works with pre-rounding dough pieces, round dough pieces that enter the molder, and the problem is that you don't have a stick. You have as you can see on the photo, the edges are not well. They cannot be sold to customer. So it's even worse when you when you cut into two pieces. You can see the photo. You got what we call the baseball bat effect. So the dough is much more thick, much thicker on the center of the baguette than on the edges. And the final one is to get the right alignment for the baguette. So for that we use guides in the roll scoop. So here you can see on the photos the stick is good, the length is good, but the alignment is not good, and you will lose the edges as well. So our purpose is not to get any dough left, which is always a problem to handle. So how we get a perfect one? There are 3 things: good calibration on the first extension, in the roll scoop accessory, progressive lengthening, and also work with pre-elongated dough pieces. So that's why when someone wants to do a cut like this, we make sure he has the right machines before the molder. I mean, the divider, also the proofer. There must be good systems that can be adapted for that. So you can see here how much complicated it is. It's really science, and that's the result of hours and days of tests. Here you can see some configuration of the 3-fold molder. So you can see the spacer strips on the left, and so it will finish elongated in baguette and spread out the cut rolls to leave spaces in the net, and so that they don't touch when they're baked. Here it's a special automatic deposit on trays in L shape. So the idea is to work with just one operator, which doesn't have to move and to run one side from another. It's a one-man operation. And on the right, you can see an accumulator, so which will load the trays directly. I'll talk about later on the deposit because there are more things to say. And here is our last molder, our bigger one, which is a Proform. So the Proform is part of our 2.5 FlexiLine range, which can goes up to 2,500 piece baguettes per hour. So you can basically work 20 to 24 on this machine. Just need time to clean it. That's it. It's really made for industrial purpose. And you will see there are many systems that will make sure dough pieces are very regular on this machine. So first of all, you got a centering system. So the dough piece will come out of the proofer and get into these V-belts, which you can see here on the photos. So these V-belts will move on, and there's a sensor who will detect the dough piece and just put it in the very middle of those belts. And once the dough piece is here, it will open and put it in the infeed belt of the molder. So the idea is really to make sure that there are all final pieces are the same, and they they are not one piece here, one piece here, so very all centered. Same as the armor eye, we got 5 rows, and the first one is notched. That's what allows us the 2,500 baguettes per hour. There's also a flour duster to limit sticking. We also have in this machine air extractors, two of them, which will be used to dry the belts to make sure there's no too much humidity in the molder and there's no sticking on the felt belt. And also the first extension phase is calibrated. It's a bit bigger than the Armor High, as you can see here, but the ID is the same. So you can adjust the pressure on it. And the real strength of the Proform is, and the main difference with the Armor Eye, except but the total length molding faces, we'll talk about it later, is the C2A. So C2A means actually means in French assisted elongation control. The thing is, so as you can see on the top right, so the bottom is not a fixed plate, but it's a motorized belt. So it gives you 3 possibilities. The first one is to elongate more. If the 2 belts rotate run in opposite directions, it will do the same as a vertical molding, 2 belts going on opposite directions. So it will increase the elongation of the product. So if you want to make very long baguettes, that's possible on that molder. And you can also adjust the conveyor speed. You can stop this belt if you want to make it like it was a fixed table to be more gentle. So if you do tradition, for example, we don't need to elongate that much. 45 centimeters is enough for 350 grams. So that way you can stop it and having the best structure inside those structure. And this belt you can put in the other setting, which is less elongation. So having the belt running in the same way as the upper belt. So the dough piece is not elongated at all. It can be just conveyed at the exit of the molder. So that's perfect if you want to make short loaves, short breads. So those are not only baguette molders. You can also have short breads, thin bread, for example. We did some tests in the bakery, in the baking lab 2 weeks ago. So you can really make different types of bread. And one difference the Proform has with all our other molders is that the Proform has electrical settings. You can see here the photo of the screen panel. So basically, you got many settings because you also have the automatic deposit settings, but it will also control the buffer and divider, such kind of thing. So gives huge possibility, and it makes sure that all products are the same. Whoever is working on the machine, if Paul prefer to have longer baguettes, he may be not able to change the settings. Settings are made by the manager, and you just choose a recipe, and everything will be automatic. You don't forget any setting. Here is the drawing that we'll have at IBA, all the machines that we will have. So we're gonna demo this line in IBA. You can see here the size of the proofer for those who've never seen it. It's quite big, and we'll show a different deposit than the one we've talked before in L-shaped. Here it's gonna be a deposit on flat trays. We got more and more people who want such kind of things. So we're gonna show that. To finish, I wanted to show you how technical this is. The total length was still in French. The total length of elongation. So on the left part, you got the total length of molding. For example, the trigger from the upper belt to the bottom belt, it's for 41 centimeters. All right, but because it's molding on opposite side, I mean the belts are running in opposite directions. The equivalent, if it was a fixed table, is 2 meters and 14 centimeters. So you can see here the more we go on the more we go on the molders, the deeper we go into the range. The Proform and 3Form have much longer total length, and but you can see the 3Form is the molder we have that can elongate the most because it has a vertical molding phase, which will increase the total real length. And how we calculate such kind of thing, I'll just show you a quick video. Here it is. You can see the dough piece. So that's the vertical phase of the 3Form. So we basically count how many turn the dough piece will make into the belts, and that's how we calculate the equivalent in fixed plate. Up. So it is. So now I'll just check out for the questions. I saw some in the question and reply, and also I got a text with some question. So first one is David asking. What's the material we use for the molding. So in all our molders, the belts are with felt. We've tried in the past synthetic coating, blue bands, but we don't have the same results. So at the moment, according to us, there's nothing better than felt. So we have synthetic felt, so to avoid to have some felt into the dough, but yeah, nothing but felt. Okay, I can see another questions from Angela. Angela is asking, so if we use the same setting structure for artisan and industrial molders. Yes, Angela, that's one strength of Meron, because we sell both to artisan and some industrial bakeries. Some industrial bakeries benefits on the molder of the technology that we have on the artisan molder that are very close to manual molding. So this allows us to make very traditional and handmade products with industrial machines. On the other side, on our industrial machines, we have some parts and some systems that are made to last longer in the day, to work like 2,500 pieces per hour, and to save money, to make economies of scale. It happens sometimes that we use the same parts on our artisan machines as well. So yeah, the artisan also benefits from that, and the machine. That's also why Mero machines are very famous to be solid and very durable in time. So yeah, that's definitely a part of it. And I can see one question, another one. Paul is asking which model can we advise to customer? Um, Basically, that's why we say just tell us what customer wants to do, and we tell us which model he wants. Because sometimes some customers come to us and say, I want a more eye molder. We say, okay, maybe that's a molder you need, but what do you need, what do you want to produce? Maybe we got better and cheaper molder for that type of products. So just let us know, and we'll help you as far as you can, as far as we can. I can see some distributors here participating to the webinar. You guys are selling so much machines, so different ones, from the mixer to ovens and proofing chambers. So you can't be an expert on all of them. So and you can't know all our range. You probably didn't know the whole range we had on our models. So it took a lot of time for me to master this range and know them by heart. So that's why we advise you to let us know, and we help you with your project, whatever it is. Just let us know the products you want to make, the type of dose it is, the weights, and the production volume, and we will have all information to help you. All right. Yeah, I think we're good. So thank you everyone for staying with me all this hour. Hope it was not too long for you. Sorry I didn't put videos on the webinar. I didn't want it to be too much long, and I don't know in which kind of molder you're interested, just artisanal, just some industrial. So we have obviously videos of those molders, so just let me know, and we'll be able to give you the link. Most of them are on YouTube, but not all of them. So stay tuned if you want to know which webinar we're gonna do in the future. We try to do some more on live webinar in our baking lab. So showing directly the machines and the settings. It will be so which much less text, and so I would check up. Hold on a second. I would check up. There's no other question. Um, one second. That's just one. Oh yeah, and a question: are those models applicable in line other than the Merons? Yeah, yeah, of course. We sell a lot of our models on competitors' line. Just depend on what you want to do. But as said, for example, if you want to do some cuts with a roll scoop on the 3/4 molder, for example, you need pre-elongated dough pieces. So the divider and the proofer must accept such kind of products. That's it, yeah. And we also been asked if we are in competition with some other companies like Rademacher, such kind of manufacturer. Um, Not many, because Rademacher in particular are more industrial, and yeah, most of the lines are going much over those 2,500 baguettes per hour, which is our maximum at Meron. So they're much more in the industrial production than us, but we also sometimes sell to industrial. It can be either when they want a what they call a small machine for their baking lab for their tests. So their small line is a big line for us. And sometimes when they start a new product, they don't want to invest 1 million on a very huge line at the very beginning. So they prefer either start with a what they call a small line, which is a big line for us, or sometimes they make the choice to have two big lines instead of one big line of Rademacher or Mecatium. Uh, this has advantages, also drawbacks, but the advantages is that you need less spare parts, and if one line is down, you can still make production for your customers. You can adapt, for example, the working hours, such kind of things. Drawback is that you need, if you produce the two in the same time, you need two bakers, twice the number of operators. So yeah, we're not fully industrial manufacturer, but we sometimes offer some solutions for that. All right. All good. Thank you very much, and I'll see some of you in IBA. Let us know what you thought about this webinar. I'll be glad to make improvements if needed. And I wish you all good days, and let us know if you have any project. We'd be glad to help you, and if we can't help you, we'll just tell you directly so that we don't lose time and you don't lose time. So we uh, we uh, we are quite honest with that. All right, have a good day. Bye bye, guys.